this is why I may never, ever return back to the Democratic Party. I was once a Democrat, ignorant to it, because I didn't know. I was raised Democrat. You just vote Democrat. You know, if you vote, go vote Democrat. They're there for us. They're the ones that care about the inner city. They care about the minority. You know, they're going to be the ones that stand up for injustice, and all this other stuff is the fuel that triggered my mind to side on the or the way on the side of the Democratic Party. But I tell you what, and this is the honest God truth, I voted for Barack Obama, his second term. I looked at all of the debates, and I said, you know what? This guy's killing Romney. I mean, Romney's arguments are very childish, and Obama is talking real good, and he's saying what he needs to say, and it sounds convincing to me, you know. And I voted for Obama, and I thought that I made a good decision, and I thought that it was going to turn this country around, because the guy could talk. He's very smart. He's very articulate. He knows how to talk very convincingly. He's charismatic. I mean, he got all of the signs of a manipulator at his hand, man. And that's exactly what he did to a lot of people that voted for him the first time, is he manipulated situations and talked real savvy and real smooth, and he won the hearts and minds of people, but his policies were hidden corruption. I mean, I have never seen so much, you know, discourse and division amongst blacks and whites in this country since I've been alive. I was born in the 80s. I wasn't born back when you couldn't drink out of the same water fountain and all that stuff. But, you know, I have never seen so much division. This guy has really destroyed the country. And for others to agree with his methodology, for others to agree with his plan to move this country forward, like Hillary Clinton, who's a crook in and of herself, makes me feel like the Democratic Party is more of a cancer and more of a manipulated force than they are doing good. There ain't nothing improving in the minority community. There's still issues. There's still drama going on. There still ain't a lot of equality going on in some of these minority communities, some of these low income communities. The schools still suck. You know, there's not a lot of educational, you know, benefits. There's not a lot of programs that are helping these young minorities come out of a situation of, you could say, systematic oppression, if you will. You know, some of these people are behind the curb. They can't get out of the curb if you keep lying to them, and keep making them feel like that they're victims of a false narrative. Minorities are not victims of police brutality. It's not true. But they push it so that you can feel like they're protecting you when they're not. They're creating false narratives so they can protect you from something false, and you don't even know it. They trigger hate towards police so they can make you fear the police, because they know the police are in minority communities a lot. It's heavy in there because a lot of crime happens in minority communities. A lot of crime happens in the low income communities. That's just the way it go. It's not bound by race. It's bound by economic dispositions. It's bound by, you know, parental responsibilities. It's a cycle of bad parenting. It's a cycle of bad financial decisions. It's a cycle of people who haven't had good opportunities, and they just squander good opportunities and end up in a bad place. It's a cycle. And the Democratic Party and some of the leadership that we have in place right now aren't going to get people out of that situation by feeding them food stamps, by telling them that the cops are against them, by telling them that they're facing some type of mysterious oppression when they're not. You know, you should tell people the truth and not manipulate them. Tell the minority community that if you want to make a difference, then you need to get on the police department. The police department isn't your enemy. But if you want to make a difference, then you need to infiltrate the police department, and then you need to patrol your own communities. That's how you make it successful. If you want to riot, no, we don't justify Black Lives Matter as the negative organization that the world can see. Some people may be thinking something very different than the mainstream approach and the rioting and the protesting and the hate and the division and the racism that everybody in America and everybody around the world can see displayed on national TV from this organization. Instead of placating to the organization, what they should do is they should say, you know what, let's gear this organization to focus on more community introspection. Let's get the Black Lives Matter to go in the community and protest and let it be known across the world that we're not letting criminals behave the same ways in our ghettos anymore or in our neighborhoods anymore. It's not happening. Homie, you're going to have to come off the corner from selling dope. You ain't selling it today. You're not selling it to my kids. No, there ain't no dropout rate. We're going to get together as community financially and psychologically, and we're going to motivate our children. We're going to get hundreds and thousands together instead of blocking the roadway. We're going to go into these schools and find ways to volunteer to make sure that all of our kids graduate. And you know what? We could get 1,000 or so people together and say, F the police. We need to get 1,000 or so people together and put money together to make sure that we can scholarship some of these people, some of these young people that's coming out of college that don't have an opportunity, don't have parents that are financially stable. These are the things that the Democratic Party should be preaching. You don't send staff from the White House to the funeral of a person who's a criminal, a person who knocked off a convenience store and then tried to fight a police officer for his firearm and end up charging at a police officer. And if the situation would have been reversed, he may have killed a police officer, or he would have been going to jail anyway for multiple felonies, been in prison. That's not the representation, that's not the ideology that you want to extend to young people in these minority communities, to think that that's glorified, that that's acceptable. If you don't like what the police did, okay, investigate it. But that ain't acceptable as well. That's not acceptable for you to act out of character and try to fight with a police officer. We don't need leadership in this country that's going to placate to that. We need leadership that's going to focus on who we are. I looked at an article that said that we're giving over $20,000 per refugee. $20,000. I mean, give my family $20,000. Give some of these people that I see while I'm on calls that can't eat and that's living check to check. Give them $20,000. Give them $2,000. Give them $1,000. Give them a job. Those things are going to make a difference. Instead of bringing people into a country and we're falling apart. We can't even get along with one another. We're still dealing with racism. And you're talking about helping other people and bringing other people into this country that's not vetted. We got terrorist attacks happening all over the world in these European countries. And you think that all of a sudden they're gonna mysteriously not want to come into the United States? We've already had plenty of them. That's not the leadership we need in this country. We need somebody that's going to stand up and is going to say enough is enough. We're not going to be divided racially anymore. We're going to be one nation, and we're going to focus on our nation first, and we're going to help everybody else second. We're going to be responsible about the rhetoric towards police. We're going to be responsible about endorsing, whether or not we're going to endorse criminals who are going for presidency or criminal organizations who call themselves activists. That's not happening in this country. And as the president of the United States, we need leadership that's going to stand up and that's going to fight for American people. That's going to stand up and fight for the American police officer. That's going to stand up and provide assistance and not just running their mouth about the condition of the minority community. That's what we need. That's why I won't be a Democrat. As far as I know, I won't be anymore unless they come out with a Democrat that don't have the same ideologies as this. I really don't think so, because I'm finding out that the Republican Party is more along the lines of what most of the people that I know, most of the people that I grew up around, they have the ideology of. Very conservative, Christian faith ideology. Most African Americans are very, very strong in religion. And a friend told me this a long time ago, and I'm starting to see it now, that the Republican Party is geared more towards my own personal beliefs. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get the job done. I don't have time to worry about people being racist towards me, because I'm too busy getting it done. You know what I'm saying? You could be racist towards me today, you'll be working for me tomorrow. I'm not going to cower down and tuck in the corner and say, oh, these people don't like me because I'm black. No, you keep up with that back in the day mindset, you'll be working for me. Be racist if you want to. You're not going to win this battle. So I'm going to get off here. It's already about 10 minutes, but I want to extend that and say that. And I hope that the American people look at what they're voting for. Take an evaluation. Don't vote for a crook, and don't vote for somebody that ain't going to help your community.